Welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Shewuyide Jinodu. If you are new here, I want to say a massive thank you for joining me on today's video. Okay, so today I will be sharing my nanny experience of how I moved from having 6 nannies in 18 months to having a nanny who has stayed with me for a year now, using it as a form of encouragement for mothers who have had bad nanny experiences and feel like all nannies are the same. There are still great nannies out there. My own story began in 2020, just before COVID hit. We knew that it was time for us to get a nanny. An agent was contacted. We got this nanny. She did very well the first month. Then COVID hit, and then she became homesick afterwards and said she wanted to go home. So we didn't want her to go because of what was happening in the world, but eventually we let her go, and then she left. She was to return after I think after like 5 days, but she never came back. She gave us excuses and we had to find a way to send her things through the agent who brought her. I was like, hey, this is the same experience that I've heard people have. Oh, is it the same thing that I'm going to go through now? I'm changing a nanny in only 4 months. So I was like, okay, I don't want someone from that tribe. Let me explore another tribe, and this time I'm going to explore from my tribe. I reached out to another agent, and the agent said yes, he has a nanny from my tribe who is ready and willing to work. I was like, yes, good. The mother too spoke to me. I needed someone that would speak with the mother, and someone that if she misbehaves, I'll report her to the mother. Then this girl came and spent 9 days and left. What did I do? Nothing. I did not hit her. I treated her well. In fact, my children had started loving her because, of course, my children are friendly and they usually love people being around. This time I was like, oh, I don't want to use any agent again. Now I'm going to go and look for someone who is highly recommended, either from a friend or a family. I got one from a friend. In fact, when this one came, let's say her name is Tolu, my children started calling her Auntie Tolu. She was also from my tribe, so I was like, okay, now that I've gotten someone from my tribe and someone that is highly recommended and someone who knows what she wants from life, someone that the mother will not call to say, we're coming home now, do this, that one. She was good. She did well. One morning after 6 months, we woke up and did not find her in the house. My boys cried. My boys cried. It was emotional to watch my boys cry because of someone they felt was a family member, because they were calling her Auntie Tolu. How was I to explain to a 5-year-old and a 3-year-old that she's not your family member? So it was then I learned that anyone coming into my home who is a domestic staff will not be referred by the family term uncle, auntie, or whatsoever. You're going to be referred to as a Mr. or Miss, Mrs. or Madam. I picked that one from that experience. When this nanny eloped, I love to use that word. When she eloped, I now decided that, see, I'm going to go on a break. I need to heal. My whole family, we need to heal. This girl, she had already impacted on us. She was so good that when I got to hear from her again, she now said she didn't want soldiers to come and beat me and my family for keeping her in the house. Meanwhile, she signed all the documents that we gave her, the terms of the contracts and all that. They're telling me that soldiers will come and beat me if she did not take that decision of running away very early in the morning. I'm like, oh, no problem. I prayed to God, but I said, see, I don't want any maid for now. Even with this, my pregnancy was quite challenging at the time. I waited till I put to bed. God helped me during that time. So 2022 came and I put to bed in the month of my birthday, just a week before. I'd been talking to an agent who said that, he knew what I wanted. He was going to get someone for me. She worked. So I said, see, I don't want someone now. I'm not looking at somebody from my tribe, but somebody that can work, someone that will not give me any form of wahala. That's the kind of person I want. The agent said yes. So he sent someone to me. He said she didn't know anybody in Lagos. She was hardworking. She came to me 2 weeks after and said there was this uncle in Oshodi who wanted her to come right away. And I said, oh, but you told me you don't have a family member. He said, he gave me one story and said, if that's the case, then you can start going now. And that was how she left. So I told the agent to get me a replacement, please. So the agent said he was going to work on it. I'd gotten like 3 nannies at this time, or 4 nannies at this time, less than a year. Yes, yeah. And I was like, oh God, I missed it. I said, God, you are my present help in trouble. Help me now. I need you. I need you. Like, it just dawned on me that God is the giver of help. God is our help. Not man, not friends, but God. Psalm 146 verse 5 says, happy is the man who has the God of Jacob for his help, whose hope is in the Lord is God. You cannot get the God kind of results if you do things outside of God's ways. And I was like, oh, I've been looking to myself, I've been looking at people to help me. I said, God, I repent. Help me, send me the help that I need, because my eyes can only see what it can see. God, you see my peculiar situation, you know who I need. I said, God, help me, send the person to me, to my family, to help us. The replacement came, but before then I had spoken to my mom, told my auntie I needed somebody from them and all that. I still tried to do it in my way. The replacement resumed 2 days after. Someone from my aunt who had lived with us before said she was willing to work, and then she came. I told my husband, now that we have 2 nannies, we have to let one person go, and that's the one from the agent. My husband said, no, this is the time that you need all the help you can get, so I need you to maximize them well. God will provide. There will be a way, there will always be a way to pay them. I was thinking about the financial implication of having 2 nannies in the house. I only wanted one. Thank God, God spoke through my husband. In fact, I almost got angry that how are we going to keep 2 people in the house? No, we need only one person. But I just yielded and listened to my husband. My dear people, that's how the one from family misbehaved in ways beyond any human imagination. The things that happened were the things that I had heard or that I had seen in movies. It sounded like movie. She said a lot of things, bad things about us. Like she ridiculed the nanny from the agent because they shared a room. She was younger than that one, but she did a lot. Like, she frustrated her, insulted her, spoke badly about us, maltreated my children. I later got to know all this, and I was like, no, God turned it around. God flipped it on her own head. And then, in fact, it was almost a messy situation. I was like, God, this one, I didn't seek you. This one, I didn't look to you. The one that came from the agent that was in replacement was the one that I did not even want. She was almost 30. I didn't want someone that old. She wasn't speaking as fluently as I wanted. Of course, I was considering my children. And then she had 2 children. I was looking at how someone will leave her 2 children in the village and then come to cater to the needs of someone else's children. I did not know that this was the person that God had prepared for me and my family. And this is the one who has stayed with me for a year. Like, she changed the narrative for me, because when I was having those bad experiences, I had friends or I had people who told me that there's something you're not doing right, maybe you should be nicer. And thank God, I know I have shown kindness to everyone I've met. So when I heard all those things, they were faulting me, they were making me look like I was the bad person. But I thank God that He sent someone who changed the narrative, who is a template for me to hold on to say there are still great nannies out there, which is why I'm sharing this experience today, to encourage you. Dear mom, you can still get a nanny from God. I want you to shift your focus off agents, or shift your focus off someone in the village, shift your focus off there's my mother who thinks. First look to God, then God will guide you on how to go about getting a nanny. God will touch the hearts of men or the hearts of people to reach out to the help that God has prepared for you. So it's God first before man, not man and then God. So I encourage you today, mom. I encourage you, friend of that mom who has been discouraged, who has been emotionally traumatized, who has been overwhelmed. You need a nanny and you know it, but you have been afraid. I want you to go to God and trust God to help you. Trust in Him with all of your heart. He will show up for you, will direct your path. Now that my nanny is leaving in some days from now, I decided to bring my experience before you. I'll be bringing her here to also share her experience. She had some things that she had experienced even before she got here, while she was here, and I'll be asking her questions so you also can glean from her own experiences to see that there are still hearts that are preserved in God, to see that God has prepared people to help you if you believe in Him and trust Him. All right, so I believe you have gained something from today's video. I want you to drop your comments in the comment section. Please share this video, like it, and subscribe so you'll get notifications when I post new videos on this channel. Thank you so much for watching today's video. See you in the next.